Good evening, everyone. My name is Billy Fan, and I'm one of your Morse CS Listen representatives.
Hey, I'm Alan Cruz.
Good evening, my name's Alexis Sulit.
Hi, my name is Mika Rosal.
I'm Patrick Bonaventura.
Hey, I'm Erica Rivera.
Hi, my name is Lillian Mendez.
Hi, I'm Mark Marrera.
We would like to start off by thanking all of you guys for coming today and listening to our presentation. We would also like to thank UCSD for giving us this platform to voice our research and make a change.
With that being said, we will move on to the question that we worked on together. How can our community expose computer science to groups that are underrepresented in the field, as well as how do we lower the stigmatizations around the topic?
Well, according to a recent 2017 study done by the U.S. Department of Labor, we found that 78% of undergraduates were male. This is true in schools such as UC San Diego, University of Illinois, and University of Southern California. Of these groups, the largest ethnic group is Caucasian, with over 10,000, following by Asians with 3,500. With that information, we conclude that not only people of color are minorities in this field, but women as well.
For our research, we conducted a school-wide survey in order to gather information about our community. We are successful and able to collect 748 individual responses to serve as a sample for our target population, Morse. With the data we collected, we're able to conclude that Morse has slightly more female students than we do male. We can also tell from the survey that the largest ethnic group at our campus is Filipinos, who make up about 50%, followed by Hispanics, who only make up 20%. People who identify as white only made up about 10% of our school. This means that our survey perfectly targets the underrepresented groups that would classify as a minority in the field of computer science.
There's one more part of the question that we need to look at before answering it. What exactly are the stigmas of computer science?
Before we ask students how they felt towards computer science, we first asked them how informed they were in order to gain some insight. To a surprise, we found out that a huge amount of students did not even know there were computer science activities being offered here at Morse. Of the students that were aware, only 57% were able to tell us something they knew about computer science. Based on their responses, we found out that students are not very familiar with computer science or the related activities being offered at this school at all.
Moving on, based on the responses on the survey, most people acknowledge the popularity of computer science, and even 90% of our school agree that computer science is not that well known and that there should be more of opportunities offered to us. In fact, Morse only offers 2 computer science courses, which would be AP-CSA and AP-CS Principles, and only about 15% of our school has actually taken at least one of these courses, and 41% of the students has described these classes as boring, too difficult, or even poorly taught.
So, when our survey shows that 90.2% of our students believe that our school should offer more computer science opportunities, specifically a majority of them geared towards coding, we believe that with more effort thrown into communities like ours, we can raise the number of minorities pursuing computer science as a post-educational career.
Either due to the lack of information or speaking from their personal experiences, there is a small portion of more students that oppose taking a computer science course. While 40% did not explicitly agree with taking that course and remained impartial, around 8% completely rejected the idea of enrolling for it. On the contrary, an astounding 52% of our school agreed with the idea that all students should have some sort of introductory course to computer science.
We might not notice it, but computer science is becoming prevalent as society continues to adapt technology into our lives. Our generation has obviously become very dependent on them, like using our cell phones. Even though we previously stated that 52% of the students agree that there should be an introductory course to computer science, 69% of those students believe that it shouldn't be mandatory to take those courses, and slightly over half believe that programming is not an important skill to have.
So, what can we take away from all of this information? Right off the bat, we were able to identify that Morse is made up of minorities. This makes us the perfect place to bring change in an effort to create a more inclusive field in computer science. We also learned what particular areas our school could improve on. One of the biggest problems we found is that a disappointing amount of students actually know about the opportunities that we have to offer within our community. This is obviously an issue because we cannot start to create change in an environment where students are not even aware of what resources they have.
From the small percentage of students who have actually taken advantage of our computer science courses, there's an unacceptable amount of complaints concerning the way it was being taught. From the course being too boring to being poorly instructed, this problem reflects on the stigmatizations of computer science within our community, and it is something that must be addressed in order to create a better environment for education overall. While our sample only covers that of our school, we hope to send out future surveys around the community to find out if this data holds true for everyone.
And if it does, this will lead us to the question as to why there is such a big gap in ethnic diversity of people pursuing computer science if our studies show that minorities are interested as well.
With all this information, we can finally tackle our question. As a group, we came up with 3 different propositions to set in place in order to not only expose computer science to students, but to change the stigmas around the subject as well. These 3 propositions include promotion, rebranding, and finally, elementary school outreach.
So what can we do now to start changing these numbers? Well, we suggest that the computer science community begin advertising themselves both online and in person. It can be from social media, through school club fairs, or advertising and volunteering in community-hosted events. For example, at Morse, we will be having a virtual Club Rush event where we will be creating a video to post on our school website and Instagram in order to promote our new coding club, Morse Codes. We plan to reach out to kids of all ethnic and racial backgrounds in hopes of expanding overall diversity in the field of computer science.
Through this, we can reach students at our school and in a way attempt to intrigue them about computer science and draw them in. As teens ourselves, we understand how much our generation loves to spend time on social media outlets such as Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If we can take advantage of these platforms, we can expand the community. The more we reach out to people, the more people will reach back.
Although this just may be in our community specifically, we've realized that we need to stay on top of branding what people think when they hear the term computer science. For example, our school's computer science lab in comparison to our school's engineering department is far outdated. A lot of our PCs have begun malfunctioning, our supply of good mice are lacking, and our keyboard's performance have begun wearing and deteriorating.
We need to keep our labs clean, obtain better equipment, and with them, begin to offer opportunities outside of school time where people can explore computer science. This means opening clubs and having people who are well qualified to facilitate. If we want computer science to reach all ends of every community, we have to start here.
Lastly, removing the stigmas from computer science will obviously prove to be a hard task if we only pursue to influence people our age, the teens. So our final plan suggests that we target students who are in elementary school in an effort to prepare the next generation instead. We figured that if we begin to expose kids who are already working with computers to computer science at a young age, they would eventually grow and be interested in pursuing computer science opportunities when they reach the middle and high school age bracket and hopefully pursue a career when they're older.
We can work with local established leaders in our community who are already trying to get this implemented and provide a workforce of committed, passionate teens. By using teens to help expose kids to computer science could actually be more effective in that these kids would see these teens as role models and would want to follow in their footsteps in pursuing interest in CS.
Lastly, we would love to give a huge special thanks to everyone who worked hard on this project. We would especially like to thank our UCSD advisors, Susan and Min, as well as our Morse advisors, Ms. Morris, Ms. Sanchez, and Ms. Tomar. If it wasn't for any of their guidance or support, none of this would have been possible.
And with that, we thank you so much for listening to our presentation.